Welcome to the Wedco podcast, where wedding wisdom meets street smarts.
We're dishing out all the tips, tricks, and wedding goss to take your wedding to the next level.
Time to ditch the formalities and get this party started. Hello, and welcome to the Wedco podcast. I'm Togger.
And I'm Joel, and we're here at the beautiful Old Dairy Maleny.
And today we have Amy from Pash and Dash on the podcast with us.
Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, perfect. Well, thank you so much. Maybe we can start with like a little bit about who you are and the business and how long you've owned it. And
So I've been in the industry 10, 11 years and sort of launched, into the industry within venues and on the Sunshine Coast predominantly. And then I left the industry for a little bit to have babies and then came back and, bought the Pash and Dash business about a year ago. Yeah, a year ago next month, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You doing anything special for the anniversary?
I want to.
Yeah.
Get lit.
I mean, it'd be pretty fun. So, yeah, maybe we'll do a big party.
Yeah, do sign on some venues in Europe or something like that?
Yeah, maybe. Put it all on tax.
Yeah, exactly. It's a business write-up, I promise.
Yeah, we need this.
Yeah. They got married, I promise.
Yeah.
So we know like a little bit of background on Pash and Dash. Maybe do you want to explain, what does Pash and Dash do?
Yeah. So originally the business structure was designed to be multiple weddings in a singular day.
Okay.
So we'd have 4 couples come in, they'd bang, 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 everyone gets married and everyone can do it really affordably with premium suppliers. So we partner with people who have the same values and the same visions that we want to achieve. So that was when the previous owners had it and it kind of evolved with them as the business grew, and the business has kind of been around for about 10 years now, roughly.
Okay. Yeah.
And now it's more that intimate style elopement rather than doing multiple in a singular day.
Okay.
Yeah, so small gatherings.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I remember those days. Yeah, so you'd have like the same arbor and everything like that, but you'd kind of have all the couples.
Yeah.
I do remember those.
Yeah. So it was the bump in.
Yep.
Everyone does the get married. It's normally about an hour.
Yep.
They
Yeah.
bump out. The next couple comes in.
Yeah, okay.
And it kind of like kept going through the day. We still do them.
Yep.
We have 2 venues that still do those style packages.
Yep.
Really affordably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With amazing people.
Yeah.
But yeah, more people want to try and do it, like they want to have the day to themselves.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That'd be a sick option to do rather than not knocking a registry, but I don't love them. So it'd be nice to go to like an actual nice venue and have it kind of set up and just in and out. And that'd be sweet.
Yeah.
Like,
Especially, it's good.
A lot of your venues, like, are they staying on site when they're getting married and going through Pash and Dash?
Most of them,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah.
So we partner with Spices Retreats.
Yeah.
So I think we're in 6 Spices now out of,
wow.
I think there's 9 Spices across Queensland and New South Wales.
Oh, no joke.
Yeah, so we partner in 6 of those venues and they all have accommodation bundled in. So then the couple can kind of check in the day before, relax, enjoy
That's
the
sick.
retreat and then elope the next day and then check out the following day.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And what's your definition of elopement? Like, is there a cap on guests of what they're allowed to have, or is it just the couple, or how does that work?
Most people want to have a few guests. So we you can elope obviously the 2 of you and we organise witnesses or they can some venues let us have more than others.
Okay.
So with a Spices retreat, for example, it's like a 6 to 8 guests maximum.
Okay.
So then they're not impeaching on the guests already staying and the guests that are there that are already staying on site.
Just
Because it's
becoming a
not,
massive
you don't
party.
hire the whole venue. You're kind of just there to sort of have your ceremony and then you kind of get to just enjoy the space
Enjoy the
really.
space.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. We had a couple of questions written in from some people. And so I thought I'd just quickly jump in and ask a few of them. I'm going to start with the last one because we were kind of just touching on that. What's the difference between an elopement and a micro wedding?
Elopements are maximum, say, 6 people, including the couple.
Yeah.
So a few witnesses, parents, or their kids are there. It's predominantly just the 2 of them, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And then a micro, we do 2 micro style packages, which is 22 guests, and then they can go up to 30. So it's like a miniature reception wedding package.
Okay, and that's just selected venues that would do that during the week?
Yeah.
Yeah, and is there like certain days of the week that you are kind of capped at for those venues?
Monday to Thursday.
Yeah, cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have more questions?
I do.
Yep. Sorry.
Timelines. We're eloping in September and we're trying to work out timelines for our photography and videography. Help.
I would say do a 4 p.m. ceremony. If you're eloping, you really don't need much time. We only ever package in an hour and a half to 2 hours photo time.
Yep.
Especially if it's just the two of them.
Yeah.
Can be a bit overkill otherwise.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
what else do we do?
Yeah, exactly.
What else is there to shoot?
Yeah.
If they're not having a reception, there's no detail.
Yeah.
It's mainly like a couple shoot, really.
Yeah, exactly.
And then do dinner at like 6:30, 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah, something intimate.
Yeah.
And book
Epic.
accommodation.
Yeah. And then I guess this one kind of ties in with that to help out a little bit. But how long do elopement ceremonies go for?
15 to 20 minutes.
Love it.
Yeah. Okay. Just nice
Awesome.
and quick. Yep.
Normally 15 is good.
Yeah, cool.
Who would be your like clients that you see coming through? Is there like a certain demographic of most of the people you see coming?
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay.
We do a lot of same-sex couples.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know why, just
Yeah.
lots. And then second marriages,
Yeah.
anyone that doesn't want the big wedding.
wedding. Yep.
They've already done that with friends and family. So they kind of just want to run away with their new partner and do something special and intimate. And a lot of couples at the moment, a lot of younger couples that don't want to spend the big spend.
Yeah.
So we're seeing a trend.
Priorities more buying a house.
They want to go and do a
starting
they want to do a honeymoon.
Yeah, yeah.
They're like,
True.
we can't do both.
Yeah. Yeah.
life. Yeah.
So yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Have like a small intimate thing and then go to Europe for 4 weeks or something like that.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I do.
You elope, did you?
No, but I would do it. Yeah, I'd be like, why wasn't this around?
It's hard to have that opinion because me and my wife, we say it all the time, but like, yeah, we would, if we were to get married again, we'd elope. But at the same time, it's almost hard to have that opinion because you've already had the big wedding.
Yeah.
Not that our wedding was big, but it's just like you've already done the wedding. So it's almost like that's what I do. Especially for me being a photographer, I'm like, dude, like the cliffs of somewhere, like it'd be epic. Like Steve got married in Italy and I'm like, that's sick.
Amazing.
So yeah, you got married in like a castle and like, or stayed in a car. I'm like, dude, that's the stuff rather than just on the Gold Coast. But, it wasn't even the Gold Coast. But yeah, is there any venues in particular? Because I think like for me, if I was to elope, I wouldn't want to just do it at just another venue. So is there like a part of the business or is this something that you may be looking into where you're doing like a really epic, view or spot or something like that? Because that's kind of like, I'm like, I'd want to elope somewhere where I'm getting the best, most epic photos. So is that something that you guys do or look at or?
I think the venues we partner with are premium. They're very high end anyway.
Yeah, awesome.
So when we bring a new venue in, that's one thing that we try to sort of look at is, are these guys going to be the right fit? Are they going to be able to do the photos? Are they going to be able to get, that sunset shot?
Yeah.
It all kind of comes into it.
Yeah.
There is room to grow.
Yeah.
So the business itself is now, we're at 18 venues across Queensland and New South Wales.
Yeah, wow.
4 of those are up on the Sunshine Coast. And we're just about to launch a new region in the Southern Highlands down south. So
Epic.
that will be a good space for photos. And yeah, exactly what you're saying. You want the views, you want all the things.
All the feels, the waterfalls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how does that work then team-wise? Like what's the Pash and Dash team as far as like in-house look?
Yeah.
And then are you sourcing like local vendors down there or do you have a team up here that will kind of fly to each
It's a
location?
good question. So we have a core team in every region.
Okay.
So we want to work with people from that region for those venues.
Yep.
So Sunshine Coast, we have a group of teamwork, like a team that will only service the Sunshine Coast.
Yeah.
And if, for example, we couldn't get a celebrant in Brisbane, we would just pull from another region to utilize because we know how good they are.
Yeah. Okay.
So there's always amazing suppliers. We never close the door to anyone. We want people to reach out. We want to work with good people.
Yeah.
So we would never say no to someone. It's just we have full teams at the moment.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
That was one of the questions was can we choose our own vendors there was actually 2. Can we choose our own vendors from your supplier list? And can we bring our own vendors that we love?
You can put in request for a preferred supplier that's within the team.
Yep.
Okay.
Everyone is amazing. We've worked with these people for 10 years. I've known them for 10 years, a lot of them. For example, the new region down south, we have to extensively research the suppliers down there to make sure that they're the right fit. We don't actually attend any of these ceremonies.
Yep.
So our team that we put in place is really representing our brand and our business. So if they're not up to standard, it can reflect badly.
Yep.
So no, you can't bring your own suppliers.
You can't bring it. Okay, fair enough.
But that allows us to guarantee that they're going to have the most epic time.
Yep.
And like for each region, would there be a couple photographers, a couple celebrants? Yeah. So there's a few different options. So say, within the Sunshine Coast region, they could say like, look, we prefer X supplier.
Yep.
And if that works, then they could do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and those suppliers are all running their businesses independently as well.
Yeah.
So, we would put the request to them forward and say, we have this date. Are you available? It's a Tuesday.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, they're going to be free.
Yeah.
And then if they're not, or they're on holidays or they're taking a break, then we have our next in line. So, yeah.
So the last question that we had was, which I can't even see it right now. No, I read that one. What's the process of booking and then planning with you guys?
Yep.
So how does that look like for someone that's wanting to elope with you guys, right the way through to planning?
Yep. So it's as simple as just filling out the inquiry form on the website, and they'll get an instant pricing guide. So then they just need to choose which venue they love, which one resonates, and then they just let us know. We can give them a date almost instantly over the phone. We have access to every venue's calendars, so we can just pull dates as soon as they ask.
Yep.
And then the booking process is they just fill out one form, pay their deposit, and then once those funds drop in, the entire wedding is planned within a week.
Oh wow.
1 week and everything's in.
Yeah.
Awesome.
The whole team's booked, the venue's booked and paid, everything's done.
Yeah.
Unreal.
And then they just sit there until 1 month before.
Yep.
We do a little call and we go, all right, we're all good to go. How many people you got?
Yeah.
And that's it. They show up.
Yeah.
Far out.
Awesome.
So it's really simple.
Yeah, so because someone else was asking like what was the benefits about going through Pash and Dash, I guess, rather than just maybe getting a celebrant and then organising things themselves.
Yeah.
And like I guess the ease is a big thing.
Yep.
And also kind of the guarantee.
Convenience.
Yeah. And it's like the guarantee that it's going to be an epic day because your vendors all work together all the time.
All the time. They do them every day. I think at one point through COVID, they were doing them a few times a week.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
it's the benefits for a couple is you don't have to do anything.
Yep.
Like you just, and you know that the team is going to be amazing.
Yep.
I guess that's, you got to put your faith in the process.
Yep.
But you can see that from the reviews and the people talking about it. And you could pick up the phone and call any supplier on any list and they would tell you what it's like.
Yeah.
And what would sorry to keep going on this, what would a collection involve? So they're going to get like a photographer, a videographer as well?
Not video, but they can add it.
They can add it, yep. Okay.
So venue, accommodation,
Yep.
florist, photographer, celebrant.
Beautiful. And then would you have like recommended suppliers to say, we need a makeup artist or something like that, so you can kind of handle all
They
that
can add
information
in
as
any
well?
extras that they want.
Perfect.
And it's just a little checkbox.
Yeah, awesome. And so if a couple was wanting to get married at, say, Spices or something like that, and they were, what's like the maximum amount of guests that you guys cater for?
Every venue's different.
Okay.
Depending on what that venue wants to put out.
Yeah.
So we customize packages
got you.
with the venue specifically.
Makes sense.
So Spices is normally six guests.
Okay.
Some of them are 4.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there a filter like on the website or something like that like
It's
would
coming soon.
Oh, nice.
The
So they can
filter
say,
is
like, look,
coming.
we need 15 people and it'll kind of filter the different venues.
It will, yes.
Oh,
At the
amazing.
moment, your pricing guide will have all the numbers of how many, but we're working on a little update.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah,
Love
because
it.
there's so many
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
so we have to kind of evolve with it.
Yeah, definitely. And we're finding as photographers, videographers, there's either at the moment the kind of a year out from wedding booking is like the standard. Now it's either 2 to 3 months or a year and a half. It kind of has definitely shifted a lot lately.
Yep.
Is the elopement space feeling very similar?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are booking 2 months out.
Yeah, okay.
3 months out, which is easy for us to do.
Yep.
Because it is, again, a very straightforward process.
Yeah.
And I think they don't want to wait. Like they've either waited too long, like they've waited through COVID, or they just go, okay, we're doing it. We're doing it now.
Yeah.
How do we do that?
Especially being a low cost, like you normally, oh, we're getting married in a year and a half because I got to save $7 million to
Yeah.
get married.
for Joel.
Yeah, just for me. Whereas I'm like, Elopements, that's the benefit is it's small, it's low key, it's cheap, it's easy, and it's kind of taking out the fluff and just getting you married.
Yeah. I mean, it's the thing that that's why you're doing it,
Exactly.
right? Like that's why you're getting married. You're doing because you love the person.
Yeah.
You don't need I can't knock the big wedding.
Yeah.
I've done the big
Of
weddings.
course,
I love
of
the
course.
big weddings. And yeah, they're beautiful. It's just different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very much, more intimate and everything like that being the smaller thing versus the big party.
There's a lot more emotion
Yep.
in it. I don't know, just the two people. It's just, I don't know, it's magic.
It's like a deeper connection rather than,
It's more.
I don't want to say it's a theatrical thing.
I was going to say it's not a show.
Yeah.
I think when you do the big one and when you work as a supplier in a big wedding,
Yep.
it's the show must go on.
Yep. Yeah.
Something happens.
Yeah.
How do I fix this before anyone sees it? Or like it's not a show with an elopement. It's very organic and it's natural and it's, I don't know, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you have any prerequisites for venues? Like, do you have a fair few venues approaching you for you?
All the time.
Oh, really?
All the time.
So good.
It's hard to say no.
Yeah. And so were you like,
You're just like, no, your venue sucks.
like, would you personally go and see these venue and do a walk around? Like, I guess you probably pre-qualify Instagram, website and all that kind of thing. But then are you going out to see these venues in person before you tick them off as yes or a no?
Some of them.
Okay.
There is sort of a prerequisite that you have in your mind. So are you good on socials? Do you have a good presence? Are you active? We want to support the business as much as, they want the bookings.
Yep.
So, it's a kind of a team effort there.
Yeah.
Do they have the setup for what we can kind of visualize? Like, is this going to be something that's appealing to a couple that wants to pick a space like this?
Yeah.
Yep.
Because no one's going to book a space that's not a little bit different or a little bit special.
Yeah, for
so
sure.
none of our venues are the same. Every single one has a very different aspect to it to create, I guess, more options. And it also doesn't put any of those venues in that region in competition with each other. So we have 3 venues on the scenic rim and they're all very different.
Yeah.
Peak Lodge is beautiful. Like, I mean, I don't know if you've been out there.
I haven't been to Peak Lodge. No.
Yeah, beautiful.
Spices one.
Spices,
Yeah.
all open. You go through a few cattle properties to get there.
wow.
Like it's an experience.
Yeah.
Isn't that the one we shot a wedding at? Was it Peak Lodge or
There's
no? It was
Hidden
Hidden
Vale.
Vale.
So we're in Hidden Vale
Yeah.
too, which
Yeah.
is very farm, country chic. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
They all have restaurants on site, so we
Yeah,
throw dinner.
beautiful
We throw
food.
dinner into their
Yeah.
packages for those ones. Up on the Sunshine Coast, we have Essence at Perigian, which is
Know that.
it's really really cute.
Epic.
You can have a private chef come in and cook you dinner.
Let's
So,
go.
go.
Do you want to do
yeah.
that, Steve? Yeah, let's do it.
So it's we try to throw in as many perks as we can, but the venue ideally has to reach a certain I guess appeal
Yeah.
to a couple.
It
Like a
sounds
caliber.
pretty customizable. Like it doesn't seem like it's just like, hey, you want to get elope with Pash and Dash? Here's a package. Have your wedding day. Bugger off. It seems really customizable. Like the fact that you can chuck in a private chef out of a certain venue, or you can throw in dinner, or you might be able to add a couple more guests. Like it seems. I find that interesting because I almost feel like I had this mindset of like an elopement, and these elopement companies that do it is more like book this.
fixed
This is
thing.
what it is. Actually, I dealt with a bride who was dealing with an elopement company, and it was like, this is all they offer. So I need you to come in and I had to go and photograph their reception just because that photographer didn't want to go and photograph the reception. So it was like
Weird.
they had to same thing. It was like they were wanting to use the elopement side of the things, but then
to
they
get it
wanted like a
affordably
dinner
and then do a
at the
dinner
restaurant
later.
as well.
Or,
And so, it sounds good for a couple coming to you and being like, hey, we're doing this. We want the elopement side, but then we might do a dinner after. We're allowed 20 people or whatever it is. Can we have our photographer or something?
yeah.
like
So if they don't pick the package that has a dinner option,
Yeah.
then we just say, why don't you just book a local restaurant?
Yeah.
Like, here's a few options.
Yep.
choose one of those.
McDonald's, Hungry Jack.
I mean, you could.
Get the ice cream cake.
Sunday.
So good.
Let's go.
Yeah. So we encourage that. We want, like, if they're going to be in that region and they want to enjoy the region, we give them more. Like, have this, go do the thing. Like, do you want to do a tour? We have a venue in the Hunter Valley. They're called Tower Lodge. Yep. They let us book sunrise hot air ballooning experiences for the couple. So they can go do a beautiful experience in the morning. They've got a massage that's included in their package. Like, it's just no package is the same. They're all like so different.
So that's where we're recording there next, I think it is.
In the hot air balloon. In the hot air balloon, getting a massage.
Can I come?
The dream.
Actually, I'm going down next month, so you're very welcome.
That's awesome.
And then, so as far as from the vendor side of things, I guess it's probably very similar to venues. Mm-hmm. So you just need to have the 50,000 followers on Instagram.
You just have to be a good person.
Yeah, cool.
That's the goal. If you're nice and you're there and you're passionate and you love what you do, and like, I feel like that's just the common sense thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, you don't want to work with someone who's hard to work with.
Yeah.
Or has a stigma about it. It's just, we're here to have a good time.
Yeah.
Leave the ego.
Yeah. It's just fun.
Yeah, and you'll probably tell that, like, your experience in the wedding industry prior to purchasing. You can definitely tell people that are like just in it for the money, or they actually really enjoy this.
You can filter.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, for sure.
And I'm sure you're the same.
Yeah.
I think even just having, just one conversation with someone, you can kind of, you can tell.
Yeah.
So we, like I said, we're bringing in Southern Highlands soon. It's dropping next month.
Let's go.
And that has been a really long process, because obviously I'm not from there. I don't know the region. I don't know anyone down there. So it's a lot of Instagram stalking.
Yep.
It's calling celebrants just to have a chat.
Yeah.
Without them kind of, you don't want them to think, I'm just scouting to see if you're okay.
Yeah.
We found a really good celebrant.
Okay.
She's awesome.
What's included in the Southern Highlands? Is that like Newcastle, like around that area?
A little bit souther.
South.
Yeah.
Souther.
Like
Souther.
Bowral and stuff like that. Okay. We're talking on the way up here. Like, there's a big drive to get up here, and DJ like Silent Shout. We had a wedding with him up in Toowoomba.
Yeah.
And so if any couple ever needs like this banger DJ,
I know of him. I don't know him.
Lord.
I've been doing this 7 years. Steve's been doing this for like 37 years. And like,
Since you were born.
38.
We've just never had a dance floor like his.
Epic. Yeah.
It was phenomenal. Like, it was mind blowing. I had recommended a few previous DJs to other weddings. And then after having him at a wedding, I was like, oh, they're all shit. Like,
no one else is
I'm not
allowed
recommending
in.
anyone else. But it's tough because it's like, he's in Newey, but like, I want to just be like, I'll pay for you flights up, like, just so you can have a good night.
I think when you feel so invested in someone, you're like, I want to see you do this. Like, I want to see you succeed. Come with me. Let's do it together.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you want that. Like,
I just want this one guy at every wedding that I show.
Yeah, because this is so fun.
It was phenomenal. Like the dance floor, like even just like the photos that we got from that dance floor. I've never had any photos like that because it's normally like 4 people on the dance floor, and you're like, how do I make this look
Can
better?
you make it look fun?
Yeah, exactly. Like, and then they're playing Skrillex and Bangarang, and you're just like, oh, jeez. But yeah, I don't know. He was next level.
I love that.
So any elopement couples, yeah.
With dinner, you've got a show. Just
playing Lion King and like mixing it up.
I love that. I love when things at weddings happen that surprise you.
Yeah.
I think when you've been doing it for so long and you're just nothing's like, it's the same playlist. Let's be honest.
100%.
You've got the same song that plays every time.
Yeah.
When something happens that shouldn't, or it's a surprise, and you're like, that's never happened.
Whoa. Yeah.
How did?
It's just cool coming across people that also take their job seriously. Do you know what I mean? Like seeing a celebrant that doesn't just rock up and, same cookie cutter, like you've seen this exact same ceremony from every single ceremony, from every celebrant for the last 27 weddings.
Yep.
Like seeing that, like people actually putting time, effort, energy, money into their job.
And we all notice.
Totally.
Everybody notices.
Totally.
All the suppliers on the day will be like, hey.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was sick.
Yeah, put your hand on top of his because that's the last time you had the upper hand. Shut up. Get out of here.
So it's got to be organic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even when we're speaking to Lauren, because Lauren's part of your team.
Lauren Bridge.
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome.
We're
That would have been
good.
awkward
We're
if she
tired.
wasn't.
No, I
who?
said no to her. But like she was talking about how there is like this whole new vendor group like just coming through at the moment.
Yeah.
And it definitely like there's so much energy at the moment of like
At the
newer
Gold
people.
Coast.
Yeah. But it kind of feels like everywhere as well. It's like almost like the older shift, like the older guard's kind of shifting out a little bit. Or was similar to me, like just getting pretty stale. I've kind of been doing this for a long time. And then they got the newer crew coming through and you're like, well, I've got to kind of
Gotta
pull my
lift
finger
my-
out.
lift
I
your
have to.
game.
Because
Yeah.
you do kind of just get used to the norm and this is what I do.
Yeah.
And you kind of
Is
do
that
need
why we're podcasting
Yeah, like, you
now?
just need
You're
a
like,
kick in
let's
the
do
arse.
something else.
Yeah.
This is fun.
Joel made me cry the other day. He was telling me,
I did not.
no, he's been honest. He's just like, man, like your photography hasn't changed in the last 5 years. It's still the same as what it was back then. And it's such a good like kick in the ass for that because
Yeah.
you get so used to like this works and this looks good and you just kind of keep going and you don't really realize it kind of just sneaks up on you.
But you're also professional enough to take the feedback
Yeah,
and not
yeah.
take it as a criticizing
Yeah.
comment. Like, yeah, actually, I didn't notice.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But it only helps you. Like since then,
Yeah.
we're like doing new editing styles and everything like that. And you're like, oh man, I haven't done this for so long. And also, if you didn't get the feedback, you never would.
Yeah.
And then you'd kind of just be irrelevant.
Yeah.
So I think it's just like when we're speaking to Lauren and she was talking about that, you're like, oh, it is. And you kind of got to keep up or else you will be irrelevant pretty
Left
soon.
behind.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, there's so much new talent.
Even she kind of even gave me, like, again, this is my 7th year. And so even she was like, oh, I think she said 3 years she's been doing this. I think this is her 3rd year.
She's done like 1,040 weddings or something.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
But just like she put it so bluntly that she was like, if you get complacent, there's other people that are going to take your spot. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh, so true. Because like I used to be all over social media. I
Yeah.
every single day, 3 to 5 stories
my
every single
coffee.
day. Like
Having a cold brew.
Hashtag morning grind.
I used to like dance on the way to work. Anyway,
Douchebag.
It was a grind. It was the hustle culture. But yeah, it was even just a kick in the bum for me. Just being like, yeah, like if you don't keep at this, there's the guy that you don't really see as a threat. 1,000 followers, like just kind of trying to start their business. They've still got it's still not their full-time job. That's what. But like, if you get complacent, they're gonna be able to take
Yeah.
that full-time. And not that we don't want that competition. It's not about that, but it's it was a good like reality check.
But you also want to stay in the world that you love.
Yeah.
You want to stay here.
Yeah.
Why would you want to leave this industry?
Yeah. Exactly.
I agree.
Yeah. And I've thought about it in the past. I'm like, what would I do? And I'm like, there's
don't
nothing
wanna
else.
do
Like,
anything
but like, you
else.
can't actually think of like, is there anything else I'd prefer to be doing?
Yeah.
And no, there isn't. Especially like,
I'd love to be a bartender.
No, trust me, you don't.
oh, been there, done that.
Yeah, that's my
I like being at the bar.
Yeah, that's a nice spot, isn't it? And most people, I mean, I would assume are traveling for like one of your weddings.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
okay.
Lots
Yep.
of internationals
Okay,
coming over.
Yep.
Which is another little drop that I could say. We
Go
are
do it.
looking at
Yep.
potentially going outside of Australia.
Yeah,
Epic.
Tasmania.
That's all I can say. Because it's in the
Go on.
pipeline. It's in the pipeline.
Where are
Okay.
you? Like Europe? New Zealand?
Somewhere.
Japan?
Okay, cool.
Somewhere with views, let's just say.
Yep.
You're gonna get your views, Joel.
My bedroom window.
Yeah. and I guess then you're hiring, like that's where the benefit of hiring local suppliers.
It's good to have contacts in this location. So the contacts that we have will
Yep.
be the team
Yeah,
that
okay.
is there. Yeah.
Yep, perfect. And I guess like legalities of working and everything, like they're already based there. You don't have to deal with kind of any of that stuff.
Yeah.
Which works out well.
Yeah. It's
Oh, very
knitting and gritting it all out and making sure that it's going to work.
Yeah. The business side.
It's all the back end,
Yeah.
the tax and the,
Yeah.
you got to work out like the currency conversions and rates
Yeah,
and like
true.
how do we make this happen?
Yep.
And still make it, profitable and affordable for couples
Yeah,
as
for
well.
sure.
Everybody's in it as a team. So you want to support that team as well. Make sure they're going to get what they need to get out of it as well.
Yeah. So you don't have to say if you don't want to, but I think it could be cool. What would like a starting package for an elopement for a couple to get married with you guys?
Yep. So the registry style ones.
Yeah, just like the couple.
Yeah,
and
so the
celebrating.
4-in-1 day packages we do at Maleny Manor on the hinterland and also in High Church in Brisbane. And the High Church package starts at 2,900
Okay.
Yeah,
and that
perfect.
includes
up to 10 guests.
Oh,
10
wow.
guests.
Yep.
Yeah, wow.
It's food and drinks after the ceremony, photographer, celebrant, florist.
That's
Oh, wow.
awesome. That's
Two
pretty
and a half-
decent.
two
What the
two and a
flip?
bit.
Far out.
I'm way too expensive.
Maleny Manor's the same, but it's a little bit higher price,
Yeah,
about $1,000 more.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but
Similar
you're
package,
very
10
similar,
guests.
almost identical. 6 guests for that
6 guests.
package. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. And then what's kind of like the next step there? Because did you say that was only at 2 venues? That was
at
the 4 in
2.
one day.
So that's the four weddings in one day. It's affordable because we have our whole team there for the entire
whole 80
time.
hours. That makes
Yeah,
sense.
they're all
Whatever it
there.
is. Yeah. That
We're,
makes a lot
we're
of
here.
sense.
Come and do it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's why it's affordable. The next step up is just your elopement package.
Yep.
And that's where you can have that 6 to 8 to 10 kind of category for guests.
Yep.
And that's typically all of our accommodation venues.
Yeah,
So all the
perfect.
Spices, Tower Lodge, Essence, Parisian.
Yep.
And then you go up. So so there's that package. Then you go up to the like intimate dinner package. So
Yeah,
that's your
where they're almost having like a reception afterwards.
yeah, so it's a
type of deal.
5-hour package,
Yep.
2 hours photo,
Yep.
22 people for that one, and then you can go up to 30.
Yep.
Yeah, so that one's at Hillstone in Brisbane, and we have a venue down in the Hunter Valley as well
Yeah,
with those
epic.
2 packages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's kind of price point roughly on those?
12,800.
Sweet.
Wow.
Yeah,
awesome.
somewhere there. Yeah.
Amazing.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, someone called me yesterday and they're like, we want to do this package. We've got a 30 grand budget. I was like,
You're like, yes.
the package is 12 and a bit.
Yeah.
And they're like, why?
We'll do 2
What
and
do
a
I
half.
have to do for it? I was like, nothing. Just show up.
We'll just do it twice. We'll take the whole day.
We could do 2.
yeah.
But then she was like so excited. She's like, now I can afford to actually fly my mum over
Sick.
from the Philippines
How
to
good's that?
come and be here.
That's so cool.
Yeah, she was beautiful.
That's wrapped.
Yeah.
So obviously you're growing pretty quickly. Like I'm seeing Pash and Dash everywhere at the moment.
Yeah.
We have a really good marketing team.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's go.
Oh, okay.
we
First,
speak to you about that?
what does the team look like?
Yeah.
It's a good question.
Yeah.
Me, myself, and Irene.
Kind of.
Yeah.
So I do have someone that does do part-time work. They're not in the office at the moment. So it's mostly just myself.
Yep.
I do all the inquiries, all the everything.
Perfect.
And then I have a socials team. So they take on all our marketing and promotions and we're doing giveaways and
Yeah, I saw
we
that.
just did a big one with Lauren
Yep.
for the Gold Coast hinterland that
Hint
they
trail,
just
yep.
did. Yep. So we gave away a whole wedding there,
Epic.
which was I think $6,000 or $7,000
Yeah, wow.
value. Yeah.
good.
So the Southern Highlands one will get.
have you drawn that yet, or can you
yeah,
still
it's been drawn.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah. We drew it on the day.
Oh,
There's
epic.
nothing worse than waiting,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. You're like in 3 weeks' time. And they're just like, oh.
You should have seen me trying to video it. I was like, oh my God, this is so good.
It's daunting jumping in front of the camera. It's just like,
Especially when you don't do it
Yeah,
every
exactly.
day.
Yeah.
You're just like, oh, do I have to do a story?
Yeah, I know. It's the worst.
Steve
Just
loves
talking-
it.
It's the worst.
Yeah. So socials team is
Yeah.
best investment that I've made.
Okay.
in
And so
the
that's like the
business.
focus is socials. That's where you're seeing pretty much everyone come
I
from.
knew as soon as I took over when we bought the business, I knew that was something that I didn't have the best skill set in.
Yep.
I love social media. I don't love doing social media.
Implementing and-
And it's a space you have to be in and you have to be consistent.
Yep.
You have to be putting out the content that you want to put out what you're going to get back.
for sure.
And it's a branding thing. So bringing someone in very early on was probably one of the best decisions in the business that we've made thus far.
And is that person, are they just like doing your like posting and stuff, or are they like designing stuff for you and
Designing
like
all the reels, all
Yeah.
the posting, all the captions, tagging. And the business, as you know from our chat, is quite custom.
Yeah.
So every venue, we have to be quite careful about how we post
Yes.
because it reflects their brand as an individual business and then the supplier's brands individually as well.
yeah,
So it's for a social person to come in and not know the branding, it was a little bit of a teething period, but I think we've kind of nailed it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And like, is there any point, like, do you have to cross-check with venues and stuff? Like, is there any control from the venues as far as posting certain things, or you just know kind of what fits into their brand now?
We know.
Yeah.
So everyone has a different way of how they brand their business.
Yeah.
And so we try to just support that. So we would only really share imagery that we knew would reflect their brand well.
Like they would put it in their own feed. You're only kind of like almost.
Some of them.
Yeah.
Some venues don't share a lot of what we put out, which is fine because we know it's not for everyone. But when they do share it on occasion, I call my girls and I'm like, like they shared it.
Yeah.
And then we have a little celebration.
Yeah.
And I feel like it'd be busy at the moment. Like all the venues we speak to, they're definitely not getting the bookings they used to.
Really?
Yeah, I feel
I
like
haven't heard that.
maybe a select
It's
few.
been massive in the industry. It's been a
Really?
very common
A
topic.
shift.
Yep.
And it might just be.
I
for
haven't
this-
heard it at all.
Yeah, this year, maybe after last year, obviously was crazy. But yeah, there's a lot. It's almost like how I was talking about the resurgence of like you need to stay on top of things. When you look at the Gold Coast and how many venues are revamping and doing everything to their venues to kind of lift up again. It feels like venues are a little bit slower. So they're definitely the marketing that they're doing is kind of they're trying to do everything as well.
Yeah.
Which I feel like in the past it's never been an issue whatsoever.
Do you feel like it's budget? It's being controlled by budget?
I'm not too sure why.
I think there's a
Just demand.
I think we've heard a few different reasons why it could be. One of them is like budget. Is life's just hectic at the
But
moment.
that's always been there.
Yeah,
There's
for
always
sure.
been budget.
The one that
that Shane
got
was
me
talking
really intrigued with Shane Shepherd when he said that the New York Times released a study that it was like, I think it was on average it takes 3 years to meet, date, get engaged, get married. Whereas because of COVID, people weren't really able to meet each other. So now we're seeing that ripple effect 3 years later that people weren't meeting. So then we're in that gap where, people aren't getting married. So we're kind of almost, everyone's like weddings are scarce and they're few and far between, add on, finance pressures and stuff like that. So I think it makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't think about, the repercussions.
Yeah. It was one of those everyone was like, before that I heard that, everyone was like, cost of living. And then it was just like, as soon as he said that, I was like, dude, that's got to be it. Like it has to.
Yeah, just like supply versus demand kind of thing. There just
Yeah.
isn't that many people anymore.
Yeah.
But it's either you have the businesses that are absolutely booming, like the newer people that are putting everything in. They're like got bookings like crazy. And then there's kind of the others are just like, I've got nothing. And so just kind of that balancing act.
And you notice like, people that you've worked with for years and you're like, where are you?
Yeah, where'd they go?
Yeah.
Where are, like,
Yep.
I was literally just talking to someone about it this morning.
Yeah.
I'm like, where did this photographer go? Where
Definitely.
did this makeup artist go? Like they're gone.
We were talking about it on the drive up too.
Yeah.
We're like, I think he's busy as heck, but I haven't seen anything since 2021.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's-
either they've lost, either they lost a bit of their passion for it or they've, COVID hit hard.
Yeah.
So the industry all industries took a real big hit.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're all just trying to find our way back, I think.
Yeah.
So just to clear up, what regions do you currently service?
Yeah.
in?
Sunshine Coast.
Yep.
On the coastline as well as the hinterland. So 3 venues in the hinterland.
Yep.
Brisbane City, Scenic Rim, which is just out from Brisbane, Byron Bay. We need a few more down there. So if you know of anyone, anybody listening?
Yeah.
And then so off the coast of Newcastle, Hunter Valley's 3 locations down there, and then Southern Highlands coming in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So do you have any on the Gold Coast?
Oh, sorry. Yeah. One on the Gold
Yeah,
Coast.
cool,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. So that is Windmere.
Yep.
Yeah. Got you.
Previously the grounds.
Grounds,
Yeah. Yeah.
What an
So
epic
they're
name change.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
So epic.
And is there expansion like within Australia? You're talking about overseas.
Potentially.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Just taking it slow. Just like building out the team.
there's no rush.
Yeah.
Like there's conversation, but
Yep.
there's no rush about it.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it's going to be a longer kind of process. It may not be for a couple of years or next year or we'll see. But
No one wants to travel to Melbourne to get married. Sorry,
maybe
Sorry, Melbourne.
maybe if you live there.
I grew up in Melbourne and I'm like, yeah.
Expansion would be great.
Yeah.
We'll welcome it.
Yeah.
But yeah, venues do reach out a lot. Vendors reach out a lot.
Yeah.
It's an easy gig for venues and vendors. Like
Yeah.
midweek bookings for accommodation is sometimes hard for accommodation venues. So they love it. They're getting their midweek spots filled.
Yeah.
Vendors like that they can just go and shoot for an hour and a half
Yeah,
and
exactly.
be home for dinner.
Yeah.
So that's good. Florists don't even have to travel. Like we get
Yeah.
our celebrants to pick up flowers
Oh,
on
sweet.
the way out. So it works.
Yeah.
It works for everyone.
Yeah.
If a couple wanted to have you plan their day, like plan their elopement, but say they wanted it done in a particular spot, whether that be, I don't know, their parents' farm or something like that, or on the coastline of Italy or something like that, is that something that you guys could look into? Again, it's a customized package. Would that be something that you do, or are you just going to be like someone else?
I mean, like I said, I never say no.
Yeah.
It's hard to say no.
30 grand.
I saw a venue contacted me and they're like, can we come on? And I nearly responded and was like, no. But then I was like, no, have a look.
Yep.
Jumped on, great socials presence, great everything. And I was like, how do I say no now?
Yeah.
I'm invested.
Yeah.
I would never say no to a couple that wanted that. Our packages are set packages, custom designed for that venue specifically.
Yeah.
So to send a core team to another country or another state, I mean, it's at the cost of the couple.
Of course.
If they want that,
Yeah.
it's not something I would want to promote because, you know, we like the simplicity and how easy it is for our couples now.
Yeah.
It would just be probably more of like a custom planner,
Yeah,
to be
okay.
honest.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was saying. It was
Yeah,
like if
like
they were
a
like,
wedding
we
planner.
don't want like the headache of planning a wedding. We just want it here and we want it to be beautiful and we want 5 people there.
Wedding planner.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're elopements, like
Yeah.
elopement specialist, not custom bespoke planning.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool, sweet.
Kind of, sort of different. I don't know. It's not.
I don't think it's very often that, like, I'm sure you're not probably missing out on a massive demographic, but just thought. Yeah.
I know other businesses do it.
Yeah.
So I mean, if that was the case, I'd probably send them to that other company or other business that does do internationals, or they have a team that they fly at a fixed rate, or it's already set up. I'd probably just give the contact over to them.
Yeah. They got the system. You got your system. They got theirs.
Yeah. And there's no competition. I'm not here to. It's, you know, you're too busy. You're too busy in your own business, and it's not about that.
Yeah.
At least not for me anyway. Like I'm just here to enjoy the space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it.
Perfect.
Was it the business Pash and Dash when you bought it, or did you name change?
No, it was that when we bought it.
Cool.
But the story behind it, I guess, it could be interesting if anyone's interested to listen on it. So the previous owners, you may know Jared Bayless in the industry, was previously a celebrant. He's no longer in the industry anymore. So he owned Pash and Dash.
Yeah.
And at the time that he started the business, I was actually working in the venue that it was launched in.
Right.
So I was,
Yeah.
So I saw Pash and Dash, I guess, be born from a venue side of things. And then, supported the brand and the business and Jared and Kristen, who did previously own it. And then, now we're still friends. We still chat. But yeah. And it's kind of done like a full 360 and it's come back to me by accident, which is kind of nice.
Cool.
Yeah.
By the time people come to you, have they solid decided elopement is my way? Like, do you have, is there many couples like, look, I don't know, big wedding, elopement, we don't know yet?
All of them.
Oh, okay. And like, do you give them advice swaying either way? Or I know it's all very specific to the people.
I think people know what they want.
Yeah.
They're like, we can't afford this, but we can afford that.
Yep.
So that's a big contributing factor as to why people book. Budget, or they are really on the fence. They're like, we don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, when you go down the bigger wedding path, you need to be flexible with your budget and your spend. If that's an issue, then you know you got to do a few things yourself. You got to try and do a bit of DIY.
Yeah. So are you jumping on like the phone with them and being like, what's steering you towards one or the other and kind of breaking that down?
Yeah.
Or are you just kind of like, what's that process? If they're on the fence about the big wedding or the elopement or whatever, how does that coaching, like, do you guys do much around that or?
I don't do a hard sell.
Yeah.
Like I'm not there to persuade them to come in and do an elopement, but I do tell them the benefits of it.
Yeah, just information.
Yeah. The fact that like they're getting some of the most premium suppliers that we can find at a rate. So obviously we have rates with our vendors to keep the package costs affordable and it's convenient for the vendors. So they don't mind, giving us a great rate to incorporate that in.
Yeah.
So they're getting the most amazing people that are so reliable and just so kind that are going to support them on that whole day.
Yeah.
It's almost, to me, it's a no-brainer because I know the people and I know the industry and I know if they're going to enter into the world of, trying to find, you're trying to find a photographer.
Yeah.
And you type in wedding photographer, like how overwhelming.
Yeah. On Facebook, you change your thing to engaged, like boom.
Yeah.
Everybody knows.
Yeah.
You even just say it in front of your phone and it's like, okay, we got some people for you.
Ads.
So I like to think that we've taken that away.
Yeah.
We've taken out, like, you can spend hours researching and still get person.
Totally.
Like you would hear the stories that come out of, cakes and hair and makeup and florists, or you don't even get your photo gallery or it's 6 months late and it's like, I just wanted my highlight. Just give me the sneak
images.
peek. Yeah. Or we lost our drives, or
sorry, my card corrupted. I'm like, dude, what the
that can't happen. That can't happen.
You throw it off a cliff?
Yeah, the amount of times you'll get inquiries like 3 weeks before a wedding and it's like some videographer or photographer had a comp going on and then all of a sudden there's like 50 people that don't have their wedding photographer anymore because they just bailed. And
it's like terrifying.
It's happening way more often as well.
Why is this happening?
It's so easy to make ads on Instagram. We're offering a photo video package and it's so cheap and they just get all these bookings and then they can't fulfill them. And it's happening way more often and it's hard to spot.
And it inconveniences not only the couple financially and on their day, but like being a venue. Where's the photographer at? They just don't show up. Or, when you work in a venue, you have to wear all the hats. So you have to adapt to whatever's happening. Can I fix this problem and how do I fix it quickly? Like in that instance, I would just call someone and be like, hey, can you come? Like, are you free? Can you come? I'll do anything. Get here so that this girl doesn't miss out. That's kind of what we're doing with Pash and Dash. Like we want them to not have to think about it or research it. It's easy. And these people are amazing. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to kind of say behind like the podcast is it's like we go to so many weddings and they're like, oh, it could have just been that like little bit better or like whatever, like groom prep. Like the whole day could be the most beautiful epic day ever. And then groom prep is just in like mum's garage or something like that. And you're just like, dude, like if you just spent like $400 and getting an Airbnb.
High rise in Broadbeach.
It'd be like prime.
Hotels, they're just crammed in all the like 6 bridesmaids trying to get hair and makeup.
Shoot with the dirty kitchen in the background again.
And it's just like if we can educate you on just like those 2%ers of just like, and then it's, again, you don't have to do any of it. It's just education. Like it's like whatever you want to do, again, your wedding your way. Like,
it's the little things.
Yeah.
And again, you don't know if you don't know.
The research thing's the worst.
Yeah, totally.
We better do some parting words, I think.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
so
sweet.
Where can people find you and do you have any parting words that you'd like to share before we sign off?
So socials, obviously. Social media for everybody. Website.
What's all of that so people can find you?
Pash and Dash. Just Pash and Dash.
Okay, cool.
And then website's pashandashweddings.com.au.
Awesome.
And parting words, I don't know. I'm just great. I'm just grateful to be here, honestly.
Elope, you sons of bitches.
You heard it here first.
You can just slide that in over my face.
It's a new slogan at the bottom of the website.
Shannon's going to kill me.
No, I don't know. I'm just grateful. I'm just grateful that you guys wanted to have us on and that we could come out and awesome. It's good.
No, thank you so much for coming on. It's been a pleasure learning more about the elopement scene and stuff. So
it's good.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Thanks for tuning in to the Wedco podcast. We're dropping a fresh episode every week featuring industry professionals dishing out the wedding wisdom you need to turn those dreams into reality. Make sure you are following us on social media, you have those notifications turned on so we can help plan your wedding day. Your dream wedding day just got a whole lot easier. Thanks for listening.